By the way, guys, if you thought we're just gonna have some light, fluffy conversations today, that was just round one. Round two, ding, ding, ding. We're talking boxing right now. How many of you heard red or green? That's it. Have heard the story of the alleged male boxer in the Olympics beating up women in the Olympics? The story. How many have heard? Yes, yes, yes. She has not heard. Yes, no, no, no. So most of you guys have heard this story. So here's the story. Can we pull up the article real quick, just so so here's the story of what's going on.
Boxer Imane Khalif advances to gold medal bout with another victory amid gender misconceptions.
There you go. And we're going to play the video that's associated with this in a second, but let me just set the tone here. Algerian boxer Imane Khalif, that's her. She destroyed her Italian opponent. This was about a week or so ago. Her Italian opponent is Angela Carini. She gets in the ring. They're like, are we ready to go? She hits her, bang, in 46 seconds. What? The girl goes, yeah, I'm out. I'm out. She didn't knock her out. She didn't fall down. She got hit. She goes, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, oh, dang.
And everyone's like, whoa, what was that? Like, what happened? She goes, that was the hardest I've ever been punched in my life. And just newsflash, she's in the Olympics for boxing. It's not like it's her first fight and she's some random girl.
Yeah.
She quit the fight. She's like, I'm out. So then here's what happens. She said she quit to, quote unquote, save her life. It's what the Italian girl said. The internet goes insane. Obviously. Shocked you guys haven't heard about this. Internet goes insane. The IBA, so there's two things you need to understand here. Is the IBA, which is the International Boxing Association. They start claiming, yo, it's because that's a dude.
Yeah.
That's a dude.
That's where they're going to go first.
Show the image of the boxer again. And they claimed that
that name.
Khalif failed, this person failed their past gender eligibility test and has male chromosomes and should not be able to compete in the Olympics. To which the Olympics, the IOC, goes, nah, we've actually done our due diligence here. We're the Olympic Committee. We stand with the Algerian athlete. She's insisting that she's female. And we find her so. And then they start it's almost like this Twitter roar between the Olympic Committee and the International Boxing. They're like essentially saying, you're just this Russian run corrupt organization. You have no legitimacy here. We've actually banned you from the Olympics in 2019. So all this is going on here. We don't know what to believe. So I want to have this conversation with her, especially with two people who identify as trans here. Yeah. Also just regular family conservative, everything going on here. Here's what, I don't know, bro. You tell me. I might get canceled today. Who fucking knows?
Not this Thursday.
Play the Algerian boxer, what she had to say. The beginning, you can see her kind of warming up, and then she gets into speaking at around 40 seconds.
Here we go.
هذا الشيء هذا هو السؤال اللي راني نطرح فيه النفسي أنا بحد ذاتي نقول علاش حتى الآن حتى الآن يصير هذا الشيء.
Happening now. I don't care. What is important that I came here with the focus on my goal, which is the Olympics. Today, I am in the semifinals.
Is this
God
at 40
willing,
seconds
I will be up to the challenge in the semifinals, and God willing, I will be able to keep it under control and pass these two stages of the semifinals.
Okay.
It says, I send a message to all the people of the world to uphold the Olympic principles according to the Olympic Charter, to refrain from bullying all athletes because of things has affected massive effects. It can destroy people. It can kill people's thoughts, spirits, and mind, and it can divide people. And because of that, I ask them to refrain from bullying.
Okay.
And that's it.
So that's what she had to say. So I don't know what's going on here. They're saying one thing, they're saying the other. You know, I'm going to show you some clips in a second. Trump weighed in on this. Senators weighed in this. There's other stories out there. So did you say you've been following this story, Carmen?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on what's going on here?
Okay. First of all, I just want to put out there, I don't think trans women should be competing against biological women, just in sports or whatever. I think we should have our own category. I think we should have our own Olympics. That's fair. Aside from that, there are biologically born women who have XY chromosomes. She's not the only one, actually. There's another person on TikTok that was sharing her experience. And I think it's interesting to show that there are biological women that are very strong. Women come in all different shapes and sizes, different builds. And I actually find it really interesting, her story, because she's not trans. She is not a trans person.
So what do you think is the misconception here? Because
that women are weak.
She was born.
I don't know. Like,
she was.
women,
No, I'm not even
like,
going with that. You're saying she was born with XY chromosomes. Typically, men have XY chromosomes.
But she's has
so
a
how does she have
vagina and a
XY
female
chromosomes and be
system
a female? So explain the difference.
I don't know. Ask God. Ask
Wouldn't
Jesus.
she then be intersex, Carmen?
She might be. I guess she's intersex.
We used to call it hermaphrodite, right?
Yeah, that's what I would say.
There were other terms we used to use.
So she is trans. Intersex falls under the trans umbrella.
I don't know.
This is something where you're born. Like my understanding, and I have not assessed this athlete and their genitalia, but the idea is that you're born one way. It's very confusing. Maybe your parents who don't understand think that you have a vagina, and then as you go into puberty, you actually develop as a male, and then you know that you were a male. And especially because this person is Algerian, I'm pretty sure they'd be wearing a burqa if they were actually a woman. And also as a woman, you can't be pumping yourself with testosterone to go and compete. You would be completely disqualified. So no, in this case, it seems pretty clear. It's completely inappropriate. I think the Olympic Committee has a very clear agenda for having this person in the Olympics.
So Carmen bring a great point, by the way.
Yeah,
Carmen brought up
I
a really
agree.
good point. I want to come to you in a second. Does anybody think that born men should be competing with actual women?
No.
Is that a thing that
No.
anyone?
They shouldn't.
But
No.
it seems to be pervasive.
I think
You're going through your transition now. You said that Carmen's been doing this for 15 years. So she transitioned.
Yeah.
But you're 4
100%.
years in.
Yeah, I turned
What does
4.
that mean?
So
Like
for
literally,
me, okay.
what does that mean? What
I
5
think-
years ago, if I met
Yeah,
you,
good
what were you,
question.
and what are you now? Like, explain, please.
Okay, so I feel like I think that personally, there's a lot of nuance. And I think that that's what a lot of people are missing, where if I'm honest with you, I don't think the girls are ready to sit down and have their transition or their womanhood like dissected to that point where, like, I piggybacking off of what Carmen said, there are biological women that have high testosterone levels naturally. Like, we understand this. Like, I think that the narrative that is being pushed on is that trans women and women like are the same thing. We're not. I think that our experiences are parallel, but they're not linear. And I think that I know what a woman is because I looked back and I came out of one. I like, you know what I mean? So like, I think that it's more so the fact of like, we need to come to a point where we can see the nuance in the, like, you have like people that are transitioning like really, really young, like that are now growing up. Like there's certain topics that you just see that isn't like, there's just a lot of nuance for it to be like fully like dissected. It's not just that simple.
Can I give you credit for something, and even Carmen credit for something, and you push back? Here's what happened. So we're not arguing here. We're like, all right, cool. These people are making sense.
learning.
I'll tell you what the challenge I'm having is.
Okay.
So I'm on a date. Well, you know, our friend, a while back, and I'm at the Standard in Miami. If you've ever been to the Standard, it's like bohemian. It's dope. It's amazing. And there's clearly a trans woman with a full-on beard. I mean, not a 5 o'clock shadow, like didn't try to hide it. And this is me. I'm like looking, like, cause I look straight up. Like I'll look at a pretty girl. I'll look at a weird dude. Like I'm looking.
All the time.
You know, like my head's turning. I'm paranoid. I'm just seeing what's out there.
Like,
And the girl, I'm like, Adam, stop looking. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, it's a chick with a beard. You're gonna offend her. I'm like, huh? Yeah. So I'm like, what are you worried about? Like, why are you so worried?
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want to offend anybody. I'm like,
That's the
by
problem.
me looking
But
at
why shouldn't that person be able to like take up space at a bar? Who cares?
no,
Yeah, seriously.
1
Not everybody
million
needs to
percent
look like
take-
everyone's
Dude,
ideal picture
that guy
of what a woman
that
looks like.
woman, whatever it is,
Just saying.
he can do cartwheels, he can do spins, he can do whatever he wants, but I can't look at him. So the argument that I had, and this is my point, is now I'm arguing with this white liberal girl over what I can do, whereas I'm not even arguing with a trans woman about the mechanics. So what's my point, Adam? I don't even think the trans community is that like, this is what it is. I see
No, definitely
white
not.
liberal women
Yes, it is that.
being more
Yeah,
like, oh my
100%.
God, than even the trans community.
Yeah, 100%. I
So
agree
white
with you.
liberal lady, shut the up. What's your point? I'm like,
I think for me, it's like we have a lot of misinformation, like where you have people that aren't actually in fact trans or actually taking the steps in order to affirm their gender. speaking for trans women where it's causing a lot of confusion. You know what I mean? Like, I say that I'm a trans woman. I'm taking hormones. I have taken the steps. I've gotten my name legally changed. I came out to my family. I walk through society as a trans woman. Like, so like this isn't a costume. I can't take this off. You know what I mean? Like already like my biology has been altered. Like that's what makes me trans. So like there are people that, you know, for like what Carmen said, take up the space. You know what I'm saying? Take up space. You are a human being. You have the right to walk on this earth like all of us do. But it does make it confusing for someone that like wants to be an ally or wants to understand and then has these has that question and it can't necessarily be asked. You know what I mean? So I am sorry that you know.
No, you're incredibly reasonable. Yeah. Brandon, I'm gonna come to you in a second, but I want to play some of these clips and then we're gonna react to this real quick. Okay. So here's Trump basically saying, by the way, like fake news, it's fake. This whole Algerian boxer thing, it turned out it wasn't like in my estimation, she's probably a woman.
That is a woman.
She's female. Not a man. But then there's the whole XY thing. I don't know. I'm not out there doing cup checks. But here's Trump weighing in on what he perceived was a man fighting a woman in the Olympics. Go ahead.
Go.
Women's sports. You saw the boxer today, the Italian female boxer, just saying, I can't be. Two shots. She pulled away. She said, I can't fight this.
40 seconds in.
Well, she got hit with 2 jabs, and a jab is not supposed to be that bad. I mean, I love the stuff, but I'm not used to taking jabs. It's not my thing, but I will tell you, 2 jabs, and she said, no more, I don't want, because she got hit so hard. She said, I've never been hit like that before.
Yep.
And, you know, I always use weightlifting as the ultimate, but I think that fight may be, there will be no men playing in women's sports when we're elected.
This is, Trump's taking a stand. Then you have these senators. Here's this article right here. 23 Republican senators send a letter to keep men out of women's sports. We know, this is a whole topic. Everything that happened with Leah Thomas. Do you remember the whole Leah Thomas story?
Yes.
Which basically just highlighted the situation. Do we have a picture of Leah Thomas when she was accepting the award for first place? Do we have that, Troy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right there.
So
come on, baby. That's a whole dude.
There's full on Sasquatch. You're a trans woman.
That's a whole dude.
That's a full on dude.
That's like towering over those women, like
just dunking on women, and they're like, yeah, third place. That's why Riley Gaines is famous.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Then here's this video of there's this basketball game. Do we have the video of the basketball game of a trans player injures not one, not two, 3 high school players in this game.
Oh my God.
Go ahead, watch this clip. So game on. All right, let's get the rebound. The trans player's on the bottom right. He gets the rebound, elbowing.
Wait, why?
Okay, there it is. So you got Jerk Nowitzki out here. A dude in a ponytail is what it seems. This girl's kidney's done. Okay?
Fucked her bad.
And
poor baby.
so these are the types of things you're seeing out there.
Wait,
article.
Well, who's the trans one?
You don't
The
see
one-
the tall one?
The back up a second.
The
I
tallest
can't
one
see because I can't see
that.
Back up a second. The one with the rebound who gives the woman the kidney shot.
But was
Play
this
it
like
again.
a co-ed situation? Like what is?
No, this is a
that's a
girls'
girls'
middle
team,
school
Carmen.
team.
Like, what the hell?
Oh no, that's not fair.
Okay, it's not fair. Coming from
No.
person who
I'd
is
be
trans.
pissed
Okay,
if that was my
last
kid.
thing, and then here's the article that I want you guys to weigh in on. Here's a Wall Street Journal article in the Wall Street Journal today. So the behind the movement to turn back the clock on gender roles. Go back up. There's J.D. Vance, obviously. A group of Americans believes the country has strayed too far from the focus on supporting heterosexual couples and everything that basically comes out. So this is in the news. This is the Olympics. This is what's going on. You know, here are some very reasonable people who are like, yo, if you're born a man, you should not compete against the women. You went out and said that there should be a third category.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Okay.
It'll end the argument. I can go toe to toe against Carmen. Me and Carmen can go toe. Okay,
Yo, I want to see that.
I think that would be entertaining.
Would you guys arm wrestle right now?
We can deadlift. We can deadlift. I can go toe to toe against Carmen.
How tall
know
are
what
you,
I'm
by
saying?
the way?
I'm 5'10".
Carmen, how tall are you?
5'10".
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Dea, okay, can we do a social experiment here?
Okay,
There's
we're getting
tall
on
people-
topic. This is not what I want to
No,
talk
no,
about.
I just want to see how tall you guys are. Can we do that?
Why?
No, why? No, let's not. It's
No.
okay.
No.
Brandon, stand up.
Why?
See?
What's wrong with doing this?
Are we all standing?
Everyone stand. I don't care.
What?
Okay.
I'm okay. No, why did we say that? What?
All stand.
We're good, ties. Okay.
Can we go flex?
Okay, let's go.
Who's the tallest person on the panel?
I would say me. I think you.
Yeah, you got 6-inch heels on, girl. Okay. Anyway, everyone have a seat. Thank you. This wasn't a weird thing. I just wanted to see.
You do have heels.
But there's a clear distinction between height and all that. So, Brandon,
okay, I just want to say something,
oh, yeah,
please?
Go ahead,
there are biological women, female-bodied people who are way taller than me, way more brolic. I see them at the gym all the time. I don't think physicality matters.
Yeah.
As far as this intersex person, I think, okay, it's fair if they have a biological advantage over everyone else. Things, you know, when you're talking about sports, competitive sports, you have to be reasonable and fair to everyone else that's competing. It's not fair for a biological male to compete over a biological female in that arena. That makes sense, unless it's like a co-ed game and whatever. But, you know, it's up to the Olympics to set those regulations, right? And to check on who's competing. That's how I feel about it as a trans person. Like, I'd love to see a trans Olympics. Like, there's like a special Olympics.
It's
What do you
our
think?
numbers,
I think the
numbers are
viewership would be.
we have our own
I think the viewership are pretty high.
The thing is that our numbers
I think the
are so
viewership for our
small.
trans Olympics will be higher than just women competing.
Yeah.
I think like our
think
numbers
so
are so
too.
small already statistically. Like the last time I checked, like we make up 0.07% of the population.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
and then
7% of
gay
the U.S. now.
Yeah, what?
LGBT is like 7% of the
Yeah,
U.S.
that was
now.
that was my next point. Yeah, like and then like gay, bi, like because like the T is just an identity. That's not. That's a whole other separate conversation. Like trans people make up 0.07% of the population. Our numbers are already really small. So I understand why it is that like they're not coming up with this. It's not feasible. Would that in like a perfect world, would it be awesome if we had like our own Olympics? That'd be great. You know what I'm saying? Like you have like the Paralympics, you know what I'm saying? For like you have that
Special Olympics,
that's
things like
great.
that.
You know what I'm saying?
But we don't change
Troy,
the rules
pull
for
up-
regular
Troy-
Olympics to incorporate Special Olympics. That's
Exactly.
why they are separate.
Exactly. Great
That's
point.
why.
I agree.
Troy, pull up that stat with those 4 graphs of different generations. Because you bring up a good point. The trans, this one right here, it's only 0.7%, whatever it is. But trans is the new trend. I mean, if you look at the stats over here.
We've always been here. I think now it's just the fact that we have so much visibility.
Yeah.
Where now there's so much visibility and
We've always been here, babe.
We've always been here.
We just had to hide and
just
live
had
in the
to hide,
shadows and
yeah.
not tell anyone.
So I'm not doubting the visibility here. Yeah. Here's the stat right here. By the way, all I'm doing is looking at the stat from 2022. And people, this is what percentage of U.S. adults identify as LGBT. This is the inclusive, the L's, the G's, the B's, the T's.
Right.
And you can see in 2014, it was a certain number. In 2017, it was a certain number. 2022, it's skyrocketed. Now, here's the difference. The purple are the oldest people. Their number hasn't changed much.
Right.
And by the way, those are the people most likely to be like, I'm 80. I don't give a fuck. I'm gay. I don't, whatever it is. The baby boomers, who are basically in their 60s, 70s at this point, their numbers haven't changed that much. The Gen Xers, who are essentially 40s and 50s, their numbers haven't changed that much. But when you get into millennials, and especially Gen Z, the numbers have skyrocketed.
Right.
We're now almost 20% of Gen Z identify as LGBT. So to your credit, you guys are a small number. I get it. But why are 20% of young people identify?
Look at the times right now.
Yeah.
Look at the times right now. Now it's a little bit more socially acceptable for you to like come out and stuff. Like, I know the point that you're probably going to try to
get
drive
in and then
there
have the
is-
conversation. Go ahead.
I mean, rebut what I say, sure. But so for young people, anything that you put in front of them is
They're
they could be
impressionable, yes, I
indoctrinated.
agree.
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe 5% of them is a part of LGBT in reality, but the rest of the 15%, there's no way that 20% of kids that are under the age of 18 are truly part of LGBT. You know,
I agree with you.
That's an all-out attempt from the people who run the world to try to slow population growth. I mean, I have no problem with people being part of that community, whatever. Do your thing. I'm all about freedom, but to try to encourage a large group of people to get permanent changes done, which is what's happening.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm saying that's what I'm totally against. That's what I don't think is a good thing. But there's no question in my mind that's happening, and that's why the Olympics wouldn't even go through the trouble of testing this person. So, I mean, how easy would it be to test this person? See, all right, are they a guy or are they a girl? But all we hear is speculation. So, it's all part of this concerted effort to slow population growth, in my opinion.
And that individual was banned in other boxing federations in other countries already and was not allowed to fight against women.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I also
want to thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, that individual had already been told no.
I want to comment on the phrase socially acceptable, because it's not that it's more socially acceptable. It's a social contagion now. And it is popular. The same way you have clusters of anorexia among girls, you have clusters of girls identifying as whatever this is, LGBT, within that, like the T part especially, it's a contagion.
Well, look at how coincidental in 2020 the numbers start like shooting up really high. That was when we were all forced inside of our houses on our screens, you know, a screen in front of us, and kids mostly who were trying to keep, some sort of a social life, and so they did that online, and that's how they built up TikToks.
I 100% agree with what is being said. I'm not going to argue against it. I think that we're in like the times right now. We live in a cyber world. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a very meta driven world. So like I remember now I would say I'm a millennial. I saw girls like saying that they were buying. I saw girls that like or boys and girls that were like went through like that like goth stage. I went through that, or like the scene stage or whatever. I think that there's phases. Do I agree with you? That like I don't think like a child at 15, 16 has a full scope of what it is to walk this path. So like I don't think that they should have the access to get chemically castrated or start like hormone blockers or all these things. We were having the conversation on the way over here. I 100% agree with that. I stand 10 toes down. Let kids be kids. But we need to understand that we live in a meta world. It's a cyber world. So yes, 100%. The whole the pandemic, the pandy happened, all of that. We were isolated. We were on our phones, all of that. But that's the world that we're in right now. So the resources that we have now weren't the resources that I didn't know what trans was. I knew, if I can really sit here and pinpoint it, I already knew that I was trans maybe by like 15, like middle school. I already knew, but I didn't have the resources. To take the step or like the support that I have now. I didn't like.
Do you wish you had it back then?
I really do, because like for me.
So then why would you say that you don't think that they should have access to it?
I think that you should have access to it, but I don't think, one thing is you having the resources and it being there, and then I think it's the other thing is you actually taking like a 13-year-old kid shouldn't be on puberty blockers, dude. There's like little girls that are going through a little phase that maybe they just need a little bit more attention, or they don't know, they haven't figured it out yet, shouldn't be going to get their teeth chopped off.
Bingo. By the way, what's the earliest age a kid should be able to get puberty blockers, hormone blockers?
If you have to be 18 to get a freaking tattoo, you can be 14 and get your nuts chopped off.
21 to drink, 20. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
This doesn't make any sense.
Carmen, last word before we go.
I just wanted to put it out there that it's important to acknowledge the fact that there is a lot of visibility, because I'm a millennial and coming up when I was even in kindergarten, and I remember wanting to wake up the next day as a girl because I had that inside of me.
Yeah, me too.
But I didn't know what that was. I knew it was socially unacceptable or just looked down upon to even be gay or express femininity as a male person or whatever it is. And so you hide all of that. And I think now it's a mix of people being influenced in the wrong way because it's glamorized. And I have a problem with tokenizing extremely feminine looking trans person. That's why I don't feel comfortable always introducing myself as a trans person, because it doesn't matter to me, you know? And I hate when people want to say, but you're so beautiful, so I give you acceptance or access more than a trans person with a beard at the bar. Like, we are both in the same sort of journey. If she's transitioning, I don't know. But I'm just saying, giving an example, like, I have a lot more visibility now and confidence as a trans person being who I am, which has helped me have the confidence to say I'm trans and to talk about those things. And that's important. But I also think it needs to be regulated. And I think that, you know, taking actions to support your transition as a teenager is wrong. I waited till I was 25, almost 26 years old.
I waited till I was
to
23.
transition, to take medication, to get surgery and all that.
You waited
stuff.
till you're 25?
Yeah,
And
I'm
how old
gonna
are
be
you now?
40.
Jesus.
Girl,
you look
We just talked
I take
about.
care of myself.
We just talked about not saying she's beautiful, make people uncomfortable.
No, it's
I'm just kidding.
No, I'll take that compliment. I'll take that compliment.
How old are you?
So good.
I'm 28. I started when I was 23, like actually taking like hormones at
So,
23. Like first needle in my ass cheek, 23.
Oh my God.
All right, wow. Final point before we move on. Erin, she brought up a word, great word, social contagion. I don't even know if the social contagion is specifically this. I'll tell you what it is. I think the social contagion is this instant gratification culture.
Yeah.
That has basically transpired since the advent of social media. And it basically catapulted to the atmosphere during COVID, like Nicole said about this. So this get rich quick, instant gratification, microwave culture hustle, basically this is an element of it is what happened with the L, the G, the B, the T's. Because I remember in middle school and high school, there was girls I was friends with, they played on like the boys' middle school team, like baseball team. They were tomboys at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Now here's what happened to a couple of those girls that I'm still friends with here in Miami today. One is just a full-on lesbian now. She's a lesbian. Yeah. She didn't transition, not just a lesbian. I see her. One is a wife, mother. She's a woman. She's actually went through a tomboy phase. She likes sports.
Yes.
What they didn't do was do a transition, hormone blockers, puberty blockers. There's also some gay dudes that I see them out in South Beach. I'm, what's up, man? Like, you knew something was up. And they were questioning. I remember like in middle school, they're like, yeah, I'm just a gay guy. But the problem is those kids these days, 20 years ago, the problem with this instant gratification is social contagion. All those kids wouldn't have the ability to have the playing the long game. All right, they would all be on puberty blockers. They would all be the kids. They should be able to chop off whatever they want, and that's the biggest problem. Is this instant gratification? I think I'm a girl. I think I'm a boy. Chop it off, hormone blocker, whatever. Versus like,
let's
play the long game. Let's see what happens here.
It's also automatic
That's part
authority.
of the social
You get automatic authority over everyone else that you didn't earn. And that is also a huge part of that. You go to a university and your professor misgenders you, and now you get them fired. Now they lose tenure. And that's what's happening with
ridiculous.
And
That's
honestly, it's on guys like you who are capable of having a rational conversation to declare war on the psychos that are part of this community that have hijacked your community to exercise the social control. Like there is a large group of people who are total people like you.
I'm just messing
who are capable of
Alphabet Mafia, get him.
I'm sorry, guys. You gotta go.
With the joke.
Alphabet Mafia, get him.
He does bring up a good point.
Yeah, because there's a large portion of people in that community that are psychopaths that treat this like a religion that you guys need to declare war on.
Cult. Yeah,
you're in the biggest position
Listen,
of strength
we've
to do
all seen the video of the trans woman who's like, it's ma'am, and just goes crazy.
Right.
Look,
where it's like, that's not helping your cause, it's hurting your cause. Speaking of helping the cause, hurting the cause, are you coming to the vault? Oh, what's the vault? You know about the vault? The vault is the ultimate event for entrepreneurs to level up their game and learn from the best in the game. Last year, we had Tom Brady and Mike Tyson, and I said to our CEO, Patrick Bet-David, I said, how are we gonna top that? He said, how we're gonna top that? How about The Rock? So this year, Patrick Bet-David went out and got Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So he's gonna be there along with PBD, the Biz Doc, and me. Yeah, if you want to join us at the Vault Conference, check out thevaultconference.com. It's going down in West Palm Beach, September 4th through 7th. If you want to make more money, improve your business, and expand your network, you have to be at the Vault. We'll see you there. Oh, you like that? Well, if you want to see more of that, check out this clip right here. And if you want even more, check out this clip right here, only on the SOSCAST.